Logan Paul injured after crown jewel. WWE has interest in bringing back 3 former talents. And WWE's plans for Austin Theory and Money in the Bank. All of this and more on a new episode of A Shot of Brew. What's going on, party people? And welcome to Bros, Brews, and Botches. This is A Shot of Brew, where we give you a shot of wrestling news from the past week. I'm your host as always, if you will, Yellow Boy. And did you guys get a load of the host and star power that we had from last week? Goodness. I mean, Yellow Mysterio, right? I mean, I think he did okay and everything. And I mean, for legal reasons, it wasn't Rey Mysterio. But he did kind of remind me of someone, and I just can't put my finger on it. I mean, you ever have someone that has a face that you just can't forget? Man, that was Yellow Mysterio. Anyway, before we get going, remember you guys to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification bell so that you know when the bros are going to post something new. But without further ado, and for the people, you people, thought I forgot, didn't you? I didn't forget. But without further ado, let's get to the news. Logan Paul injured after his spectacular crown jewel performance. So November 5th, Crown Jewel Premium Live event gave fans the main event of the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns defending against social media sensation Logan Paul in a match that highlighted the show where, in my opinion, didn't have much going for it, but still was a very decent show. And this match right here is made for a rewatch. Right? Go back out of your way and watch this main event. Now, Logan Paul showed fans that he is a natural athlete and made to entertain, going as far as to hit a frog splash to a prone Roman Reigns who was outside on the announce table. All the while, he was recording it on his phone. He held onto his phone and hit a frog splash. If you haven't seen the video, you can go to either Logan Paul's social media or you can go to WWE's social media, and WWE has a side-by-side as he's holding it and as the cameras are filming it. Amazing shot. Go check it out. However, Roman Reigns retained his title and remaining the champion. But the story coming out of it is that Logan Paul might have injured his knee during the match. Now, reported by the Wrestling Observer, Paul posted on his social media after the show that he had torn his meniscus, MCL, and potentially his ACL. Now, per Logan Paul, this happened halfway through the match. He was able to remain lighthearted about the injury, joking on his social media, but the actual extent and diagnosis is yet to be determined. But how good is Logan Paul? I mean, Logan Paul he said it happened halfway through the match, which means his frog splash outside had to be done with a messed up knee. So love him or hate him, there's no denying that Logan Paul is an exceptional athlete, and it's not the last time that we're going to see him in the WWE, of course, because he's got a contract. But we're not going to see him. I mean, it's not going to be the last time we'll see him in like a main event status like that, because he proved his worth on Crown Jewel. Anyway, from an interesting athlete performing for WWE to WWE being interested in bringing back a few athletes, WWE has reported interest in bringing back 2 to 3 former performers in the women's division. Now, it has been reported that since he's taken over, Triple H has been looking to stack the women's division on the main roster. 2 names that have been getting a lot of buzz are Mia Yim and Tegan Knox. Yim was released in November of 2021 and since has spent 5 months of this past year with Impact Wrestling before wrapping up her contract with them after Impact's Bound for Glory tapings. Now, Knox, or Nixon Newell, was released in October of 2021 and has not performed since her release and stayed relatively quiet from the wrestling world. Now, both ladies are said to be receiving attention from both AEW and WWE, but considering their working relationship with Papa H and Triple H's incentive to increase the women's division, some speculate that both women will return to the dub. Now, another possible interest was speculated to be Chelsea Green. You know, Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder's wife. Green was released from the WWE in late 2020, and since she's competed for the NWA, Impact, Ring of Honor, and multiple other indie promotions, all without a contract, and this is per Fightful.com. Fightful also said that they reached out to Green, who claimed that she had not been contacted by WWE, and noted that she still has NWA, WrestleCade, and other indie bookings all the way through into March of 2023. So, who knows? Maybe we'll see Tegan Knox, Mia Yim, and possibly later on Chelsea Green. But speaking of future plans for WWE, WWE's future plans for Money in the Bank winner Austin Theory may have been revealed. Now, this is via thesportsrush.com. Now, there are several reports that WWE is considering a never-seen-before way that Theory will cash in his Money in the Bank contract. Reportedly, before retiring, former WWE CEO Vincent Kennedy McMahon had big plans for Theory, as we were seeing on screen playing out. However, since Triple H took over, there have been some questions regarding Theory's future plans moving forward, as he's accumulated a ton of losses, right? There's been a report from WrestleVotes that provided some new light on the situation for his plans for the Money in the Bank contract. Now, according to WrestleVotes, Theory would hold on to his contract to the full extent of the year. You know, the contract he has to cash in, he has a full year. Now, this is including up until the actual Money in the Bank match. I say the up and coming match because there's rumor mill that they're going to get rid of the pay-per-view or premium live event of Money in the Bank if they haven't already, and just do it like they used to and have it as an attraction match at WrestleMania. Now, also in the possibility, they were going to have a countdown, or either a countdown clock to Theory cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. This could lead to having dual contracts being cashed in the same night whenever they do the actual Money in the Bank ladder match. But we'll see, continue to look and see if WWE will go with that potential storyline with Theory. But we move from new plans to old wounds. A former WWE champion was not on speaking terms with good old JR. So, while speaking on his Grilling JR podcast, Hall of Famer Jim Ross talked about his relationship with Bret the Hitman Hart. Hart, who most notably was involved in 1997 Survivor Series that the Montreal Screwjob occurred, Ross stated that, quote, "We went for years and never spoke because he didn't believe I was not a party to it. The truth was, I was not a party to it. The truth was, I didn't even know the effing finish. I'm glad to some degree that the story has a happy ending. It was emotional for Bret to come back, get a hug, and be in the ring, and then finally have his meeting with Shawn." So it looks like Bret the Hitman Hart buried the hatchet, at least with JR for the Montreal Screwjob, because apparently Jim Ross didn't even know anything about it. So good to hear that we can all make amends and avoid conflict with each other. But from finality in conflict to creating a final card for a huge show, the final full card for the New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom card has been revealed. So the historic crossover show, named Historic Cross or X-Over, will feature wrestling from New Japan of New Japan Pro Wrestling and women's Joshi wrestlers of Stardom. Now, this event will happen on November the 20th, 2022 at the Ariake Arena, hopefully I'm saying that right, in Tokyo, Japan. Now, a match that had recently been added will see Will Ospreay take on Shota Umino for the IWGP United States Championship. Now, it's also be headlined by the finals of the tournament to crown the first ever IWGP Women's Champion. Again, let me state that again, because New Japan hasn't had women's wrestling if you follow New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they were having a tournament that will, at this pay-per-view, crown the first ever IWGP Women's Champion. The combatants will be Kari, formerly known as Kari Sane, facing Mayu Iwatani. So, former Kari Sane. Look at that. Additionally on the card is the Great Muta's final New Japan Pro Wrestling match as he competes in a 6-man tag on the show. The show also will see Leo Rush compete after returning from injury and making his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut in Japan. So for those of you who are interested in New Japan Joshi wrestling, want to see competitive, strong style, make sure y'all check out the show. For the card in its entirety, you can go check it out. It's posted up on New Japan Pro Wrestling's website, which is njpw1972.com. And you get all the details on that for that show. Seems like it's going to be a banger of a show looking at the card up and down. However, if you watched the show before, you know that it comes on practically early in the morning for us because it's in Japan. So make sure you're making provisions to get some rest to watch the show if you want to watch it, or you can watch it on catch up. So that's that on that. But that is it for the news. Again, I want to thank all of you for your continued support. Thank you for watching the Halloween special last weekend. If you like what you see, and you continue to like what you see, make sure that you click that like button so that we satisfy our YouTube algorithm overlords and sustain the algorithm. That way we can show up more on more people's YouTube suggestions and be seen by more. We're on the road for 1K. We want to get 1,000 subscribers at least. So help us do that by clicking that like button, making sure that you're sharing, and making sure that you're subscribed if you haven't already. Now, if you want to follow the channel, all of our social media accounts will be in the Linktree link below in the description. To follow me on Twitter, you can go to Badass Yellow Boy, and that's BADAZZ_YELLABOI. To follow the other two bros, you can follow Over Here Boy on all social media at Over Here Boy, all one word, should be down in this general vicinity here. And of course, you can go find Hogzwars at Wamplers Farm. But again, I've been Yellow Boy. I've been Yellow Boy for Bros, Brews, and Botches. As always, as our brother Over Here Boy says, we love you. And until next time, we'll holla.